Hello, 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 everyone. Greetings. Good afternoon, my truth seekers. How y'all doing? Today, we're going to have a fresh take on the live show. Like I told you, I was going to do live shows Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. May not be able to do them on every single one of those days, but I would definitely try. And if there's any breaking news that may come up, I'll definitely bring you the breaking news as well. Okay, let me know that you can hear me out there. Anyway, again, greetings, truth seekers. I'm Keisha, and welcome to the Truth Show Live. In this broadcast, I will discuss the second assassination attempt on Trump, since further details have emerged regarding this attempt. They said they found the perpetrator, or the gunman, who apparently has this huge record, so we'll be talking about that. Hi, Indra. Happy Monday. I will also discuss genuine ethnic backgrounds of some prominent leaders in the past. They lie about everything. I mean, every aspect of any individual in the past, 90% of them have been a lie. It's crazy. Just crazy. And I also give you a deeper insight of the portals that's being built. The deception is profound. Here are your warnings. Please note that this is all alleged. I've never met any of these people. I deeply researched all of my information. This is a trigger warning. In this video, I may be talking about or showing sensitive material about some subjects or topics that may be disturbing or upsetting, or may bring forth some troubling memories, as you read in the description or title. With that said, either end the video now or brace yourself. Aside from that, enjoy. All right, fantastic. Okay, starting off the show, of course, we're going to be talking about Trump, okay? It seemed like reports indicate that Trump may have been targeted. However, they specify that the threat was not directed against him personally, but rather in the same neighborhood. Because I'm getting reports it was shooting in the area, so I guess they assume it was at him, but not necessarily him just shooting in that area in general. I'm getting mixed reports. I'm starting to wonder about this whole freaking thing. But here is the clips. I got you clips, people. Got you clips. I'm going to play this one first.
Breaking news, did someone just try to kill Donald Trump again? Or maybe at least prepare to kill him? This according to Trump this afternoon at his golf course. The Secret Service says that Trump was golfing around 1:30 this afternoon. An agent was one hole ahead of Trump and found a man with his rifle in the bushes along the tree line. The agent fired at him because he actually saw the AK-47, the muzzle of the gun sticking out of the bushes. Trump was evacuated. The man, the suspected gunman, fled and was later captured. He left behind his gun, backpacks, and a GoPro camera. Now, I will warn folks, be careful with stories like this. We don't know what's going on yet. Now, good assumption, a guy in the bushes with a gun one hole before Trump was getting ready to shoot at Trump. Again, good assumption. We don't know yet. Let's wait and see. The Republicans are already trying to spin this as, oh my God, you accused Donald Trump of trying to violently overthrow the government, so it's your fault the guy tried to shoot him. Donald Trump did try to violently overthrow the government. You can't hide this kind of stuff. Guys, we're talking about electing him president. Again, got to tell the truth of who he is. And frankly, people shouldn't try to kill him. But if they do, that doesn't change who he is, But we'll get into that later. Just keep an eye on the story. We don't quite know what's up with it yet, but keep an eye.
Okay. The news is pretty much that this gunman, and don't worry, I have more clips. This gunman tried to, hold on. Actually, here, let's look at this first, and then we go back to the other page. Let's look at this video first.
Yeah, that's them making noises, having a joke on Kamala's expense. But here's the body cam footage who's supposed to have captured Trump alleged gunman. Let's look at that again. That's him right there with his shirt up. Everyone is definitely suspect about this whole thing. Very suspect. Very suspect. I think that show these other videos and they're going to give you a different interpretation. We play this one first. Now some of these videos I'm just not watching myself. Like this one.
So expensive right now, and he has a better tax plan. We're under Trump's tax plan right now. It was good when he was in office because that was Obama's.
Which is what I try telling people.
Do you not know how the government works? Go back to history class.
Yeah, she basically said in her soft voice way, not sure why she was speaking so damn softly, but she pretty much confirmed what I said, that all of these things are happening because we under Trump's policies. You know, when Trump was in office, we were under Obama's. So that's why it was so peaceful. And some people just don't know. I'm sure they know now, or they just probably don't give a damn. A lot of people just don't give a damn, to be perfectly honest. But listen to what this lady have to say. Now, a lot of Republicans are starting to turn away from Trump because they're saying he's not mentally there. They know he's not mentally there. They're not stupid. They see something is definitely wrong with him. And what's going to happen is that I don't know what's going to happen to Trump, honestly. I ain't even bothered doing his tarot reading. Well, I did do his tarot reading, actually. I take that back. But I haven't done one recently. You know, I did one a couple months back, you know, on my tarot channel that's pointless, that they'll barely post on. But I'll go ahead and copy it and put it in my Patreon. However, it pretty much confirmed a lot of things without getting into any specific details in terms of his fate. However, that means they're going to be looking for a replacement. And I was not even thinking of this in terms of who are they looking for in terms of replacing Trump. I didn't even think to even say, oh my gosh, who will replace Trump? Because I'm thinking, okay, once he's out of the office, we can finally breathe. Because the last 4 years been a fucking nightmare, you know, with his constant allegations and conspiracy theories and cussing out this person and cussing out this person and that person and riots and wars and people getting shot, you know, because guns are so easy accessible since he threw out the background check. It's just been a freaking nightmare these past 4 years. And so I haven't even thought about, like, oh my gosh, who's going to take his place? This young lady came with the insight that who may be taking Trump's place after they get rid of him. Because they are going to get rid of him. They see that he's not there anymore. And a lot of his followers are not trying to deal with Trump anymore. Pay attention to this. Oop. I swear, you touch a button and this thing just fly past. So annoying.
Americans fair warning. I want to give Americans fair warning. The Republican Party today is now the white Christian nationalism party. It is. What started back in the Reagan days with the Tea Party and the evangelicals quietly in the background working to take over our country and turn us into a theocracy has culminated into what it is now today, a complete takeover of the Republican Party. So when Donald Trump loses in November, it's going nowhere. And here's my warning to you. They will hang their hat on anyone that they can adore and worship to get them the ultimate power and take over of our country. And I want everyone to keep their eyes on Barron.
Yep.
Keep their eyes on Barron. I saw a video a few weeks ago, and it was so disturbing. He was acknowledged by a room full of Trump sycophants. They stood up, they gave him a standing ovation. And at that moment, I saw it in his eyes.
He was loving it.
The first time ever feeling that kind of power and adoration. And something was birthed in him. You could see it. You could see it in his face and in his eyes. It's what I would imagine every single dictator, historically and today, the first time they ever felt that, when they were younger, before they finally gained total control and power. I saw it in his eyes. If you guys can find the video, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I remember the video. I saw it once. I ain't paid too much
He's
attention
the
to
one
it.
to watch out for. I think you have to be 34 to run for president.
Apparently, can
So
be
that's what,
be a convicted criminal.
15, 16 years from now for him? The Republicans are going to be looking for their next Donald Trump. And easily, it could be him. Just watch.
Yep. I saw the video, honestly, a while back, but I didn't pay attention. I see a lot of videos I don't really pay attention to. And he was standing there, I think he was standing on some stairs or a stage or something. And I think it was around his graduation or something like that. And people were looking at him with admiration. And he was smiling like, oh, this is sweet. I mean, he was really feeling himself. He was loving the admiration. He loved the fame. It just made him feel so freaking powerful. And I was like, wow. And I just looked at it for a second. I mean, I didn't get down into depth with it. You know, I just looked, okay, moving right along here. And then just kept it moving. I guess I should have paid more attention to it then. I didn't know it was that serious. You know, I guess sometimes you do have to look at things in a different perspective. And this young lady, well, not young lady, this lady looked at it in a different perspective. And I didn't. It was just a scroll on by kind of thing. And what I saw, yeah, he was definitely loving the fame. And I guess if you look at it long enough, especially someone like me, you can see the future in his eyes. And Trump was looking at him smiling with, oh, you know, that's my son, yada, yada, yada. You would think he would look at him, you know, he's still on my shine in a narcissistic kind of way, but he was looking like, okay, there's my future right there. So, yeah, Barron Trump will more than likely replace Trump in about 15, 16 years, and he'll be brought up just like Trump. He's already been brought up just like Trump. So he'll definitely be that person, which is very sad, but, you know, it's nothing we can do about it. Meanwhile, let's get into the subject about the cats and dogs theory. Okay? We all heard about that cats and dogs malarkey, which is freaking ridiculous. As many of you have heard about the Haitians eating cats and dogs, which is ridiculous. Well, this turned out not to be true, of course. I didn't even think it was. Trump heard this from some racist person, some person who posted this online for whatever racist reason she did for, but pay attention to this.
Why would Donald Trump say Haitian immigrants are eating pets? Where did he get this information? It could have been J.D. Vance, his vice presidential candidate, who's been perpetuating that online, or it could have been Laura Loomer, the conspiracy theorist seen exiting Donald Trump's plane in Philadelphia before the debate. Why would Donald Trump be with a person like that? Why would he have associations with Nick Fuentes or Charlie Kirk? Maybe those people helped bring him a sympathetic base of voters he wouldn't otherwise be able to tap. Or maybe, as others have suggested, it's that he has a problem separating fact from fiction, which is what Kamala Harris was driving at in this answer at the debate.
And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate and deny what over and over again are court cases you have lost, it leads one to believe that perhaps We do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about fact.
Before you dismiss that as a partisan swipe, H.R. McMaster, Donald Trump's former national security advisor, worked with him in the White House. He also said that Donald Trump had a hard time distinguishing fact from fiction during intelligence briefings, writing in his new book, quote, "He found it difficult to distinguish between those who brought him sound analysis and those, real or imagined, who brought him hackneyed bromides."
There you go. So it seemed like Trump cognitive and memory, and he's definitely showing extreme and rapid signs of dementia. People should really take this seriously because we do not want a man like that running our country. A man who cannot differentiate fact from fiction, theories from reality, racism, because that's the root of everything. He only talked that way because he's racist. If it was a Caucasian person, he wouldn't have said nothing. But considering these are Haitian people, and he has problems with immigrants, which further validates his racism, he definitely have some serious reality issues, and he definitely needs to take some kind of mental clarity test. I'm not sure of the doctor name for it, but he should be taking some test to test his mental stability, his cognitive, his memory, all of it. He should be really taking tests to validate all of that to be the president of the United States. And then they need to implement a law states that convicted felons and people without certain history or accolades or educational backgrounds cannot be a candidate for presidency. You can't be a serial killer just so happen to be popular or rich and become a freaking president of the United States. We really need to strengthen our rules and guidelines for this. We really do need to. Really do need to. And I don't see this happening anytime soon, but I'm hoping it happens sometime soon because this is really getting out of control, for real. It's definitely getting out of control here. Anyway, moving right along here. And our next subject, because I told you I wasn't going to talk about politics as much and deep anymore because I'm still trying to figure out who's, blacklisting my channel, making my views 200. It's so depressing. I'm surprised I'm still running. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about literally just saying, fuck it. Screw the channel altogether, all my channels, and just walk away and just ghost this crap. That has been something that's been pondered in my mind more repeatedly lately. So I will let you guys know I'm ghosting. I probably still post in my community chat so you can know I'm still alive. I won't just ghost you. But I'm definitely thinking about just not posting anymore because I'm not making any money, and the FBI are not giving me anything. I need to make money so I can hire a private investigator and a hacker to try to figure out who hacked my stuff. Even though I'm getting key elements in a area who's doing it. So just want to let you guys know that. Moving right along here, we're going to be talking about the true ethnicity. Because we have been taught that majority of our leaders are not colored or black, or not black, but white Europeans of some race, any race, but, colored people. They always tell us they're not black, they're not colored. Every historian, leader, or triumph hero, they even put it in movies. Every hero, whatever, is Caucasian, just not colored. Majority of them anyway. They are unity. They're saving humanity. They saving the world. Every freaking leader you see in every action movie is not colored. Majority of them anyway. Not saying I don't like it. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. However, reality speaking, no offense to my beautiful Caucasians out there, your descendants are not you and personally. Your descendants is far from heroic and unity and triumph and with humanity as a whole. Your ancestors never shown that ever. Ever. So how far does that lie goes? That is the question that I'm going to be answering right now. Because I don't think you guys know how far that lie goes in terms of the deceit and the whitewashing of everything. I was shocked on how far that lie went. I didn't know that they did it to a lot of these leaders and kings and queens and stuff. They whitewashed a lot. Even the rumor, it's not really a rumor, of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, they say he was light-skinned or he was Caucasian. Even though I believe his mother, his birth mother was from Ethiopia, I believe. And majority of the people from Ethiopia, as we know, are of a darker skin tone. Okay? So it was obvious that he was more than likely of a darker skin tone. And it goes deeper than that because there were some records of people, like news people, bloggers, journal keepers, whatever, that was found. Library of Congress, you can probably find this online in Britannica or something like that, where they have written down the true complexion of Abraham Lincoln. And believe it or not, Abraham Lincoln was not this light colored person. He was swarthy. Swarthy means dark. So in the pictures and paintings and drawings that we see of Abraham Lincoln, where they're depicting him as this light color individual, is not accurate. They just lighten him just so he can solidify and add to their white dominancy of power and true leaders. Okay, we know Abraham Lincoln was an Aquarius, and stuff like that. So that's what they like to do. So I'm going to show you some clips here that will probably shock you, but are we shocked by the shock value? No, we're not.
The critical discoveries of where and when Adam lived prove he could not have looked like this. For the first time, it's possible to paint a new portrait of Adam based on science.
Shalom, shalom, mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. I'm your host, Rabbi Yehuda Ben Shomer, and today I'm going to be talking about Black Hebrewism. Now, before I get into reading the blog I wrote regarding Black Hebrewism, let me preface it with this. I believe that Adam and Eve and Noah and his wife were black.
Well, Noah was albino, but yeah, I get it.
I don't see how it can be any other way. For there to be such a variation of color in the human race, you have to have a lot of melanin, skin tone, skin color, before you can have a lack of it. You can't have it the other way around. You can't have hardly any melanin or skin color and all of a sudden have more. It just doesn't work that way. So I believe that Adam and Eve, and I believe that Noah and his wife were black, and according to Jewish tradition and of the rabbis and sages of blessed memory, that either Noah and his wife had triplets, or the three sons they had at separate times. But nonetheless, whether they were triplets or whether they were birthed at different times, they are said to have had various shades of melanin.
The Bible is saying it, science is saying it, and other ethnic groups are saying it too. The people of the book are melanated people, and the Bible is our history book. Science is proving what Scripture is already telling us, that the Most High is of a burnt brass color with woolly hair, and the people he chose to be his chosen people look the same way.
There you go. I guess I should explain this. This is a picture of Queen Elizabeth I of England. Yes, Queen Elizabeth I of England. Okay? Yes. I already told you guys years ago that the prior kings and queens or whatever of England, that's England where, King Charles and Prince Harry and William are at and from, okay, that predominantly after Revolutionary War, which they call slightly British War, the Moors, Negroes, colored, Africans, even though we're not all from Africa, but whatever, just for argument's sake, was ruled by colored Negro people. Everywhere was pretty much ruled by Negro colored people. Okay? England was ruled, in Paris, was ruled by Negro colored people. Okay? They went in later on, when the war was over, revolutionaries were over, they made it their duty to not only destroy noses, but paint over any former kings, queens, whatever, and paint them abnormally white. They went and pretty much rewritten history to fit along with their propaganda after, they tried to kill us off and things of that nature, and slavery was on high everywhere. They went through this whole period of whitewashing everything, making sure we didn't learn the past, making sure we didn't know anything, making sure we know the truth, because they figure if we find out that they did this, we was definitely going to distract it. We was going to protest all in 9 yards and tell the truth that this is not true. So former kings and queens, and I think I did a video about this, were all Negro. All of them was Negro. So yes, that TV series that is supposed to be very famous, name pretty escapes my mind, it's on Netflix, about the colored, king, queen and stuff like that. That is actually accurate. So yes, the first queen of England was a Negro. Later, they start whitewashing everything. There was a lot of integrating going on, to be honest. So they were definitely mixing, with some swirling going on with colored Negroes and Caucasians or whatever. That was definitely a mixture in there. The people who are currently habitating it now and taking over it now, they so happen to become descendant in that because they killed off the former leaders and rulers of that country, and they took it over not by blood, but by power. Okay? Please notate that. So this is the first queen of England, not the first queen, but the Elizabeth the First. I'll play it again. You see that? I'll pause it for you. You see? Hold on. Right there. See? There it is right there. See, what they did was they painted her white badly, but they kept part of her hair texture the same. Even though she was painted white badly, but they kept part of her hair texture. So I guess it was like, we're not going to go through all that. So they just left the hair texture the same. And she was a redhead, but her hair texture was pretty much the same. But yes, they just painted over a lot of those pictures. See that? See that? And you can even tell, see? See how badly painted this is? You can even kind of tell. Look, this is where the head was, but they painted over it. You can still see some of the hair texture here. And if you go back, see? Her hair dormant, braid, they kind of kept it and they tried to paint it in there. See that? Yeah, she was a colored woman. They just whitewashed a lot of these paintings. Here's the meaning of swarthy. So if you see swarthy, they try to change it and say swarthy doesn't mean that they were dark complexion. It means they blushed or some bullcrap. They're always changing the meaning of things. So we had to go back into the older history books and dictionaries and tell you the original meaning of it. You have to do that sometime because they will change the meaning of a lot of stuff, for real.
So some people like to take the word swarthy and say it doesn't mean black. Well, just for kicks, let's take a look at it. Swarthy, from the root word swart. Old English, swart, black, dark, of night. Gothic swart, dark color, black, from the PIE root swardo, dirty, dark, black, the true Germanic word, surviving the continental languages, but displaced in English by black. Well, let's get an older definition from another dictionary. Swarthy, see swart, being of a dark hue of dusky complexion, tawny in warm climates. The complexion of man is universally swarthy or black. The Moors, Spaniards, and Italians are more swarthy than the French, German, and English, black as the swarthy African. Let's continue. This is why, again, the Duchess of Brantes, who was the ambassador, a wife to the ambassador of Portugal, said the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese can be seen in a single person. Why? Because they were a single person. And these Portuguese Negroes were known for things that might ring a bell to African Americans. Number one, they were known for writing poetry set to music. But in their pure poverty and touching tenderness of the pathos, the Jewish poets of Spain not only excelled their Moorish rivals, but every poet before or since. Once more, Israel's sons and daughters took their harps of Judea from off the mourning willows in the songs of Zion. The Jews and Moors in Spain by Joseph Croissant. Secondly, they were known for wearing black cloaks and hoodies. The Almohad ruler, Abu Yusuf Raqab, is said to have introduced, at the end of his reign, an innovation in regard to the sukkah, cloak-like garment of the Jews, because they were dressing like the Muslims, and even like the most notable of them. Therefore, Jews henceforth were required to dress in the fashion of the mourning Muslims, dark blue or black. And they were required to wear black cloaks and black caps. Jews, Visigoths, and Muslims in medieval Spain by Norman Roth. And we notice Jew cavaliers.
I hope that gave you some clear indication of what swarthy is. So when you see swarthy, please do not allow them to lie to you and say swarthy means, oh, swarthy just means light complexion or blush. You know, that is not true. Swarthy does not mean that. Please don't allow them to have you believe that crap. And they will try to get you to believe that. You know, so make sure you understand the meaning of swarthy, okay? Now, here are some more history lies.
History is a lie. How did William Shakespeare, famous English poet, playwright, and actor, describe himself in the early 1600s? From the autobiography of Shakespeare, a fragment, page 57 and 58, quote, I had some good and dear and trusty friends in London, and made merry with them for nigh to a week together. There were Ben Jonson, a witty and scholarly and a merry rogue, who was very close to my heart, and John England, an honest man, and Edward England, as honest as John, but shy and pale, and Edward Sholton, he who bought my third play, and Will Shakespeare, that was I, a small dark man with great eyes, whom the women loved not a little, but who loved them not too much, and who was not seldom called the little Jew boy, or the little Jew from the Midland counties, which made me to fume with anger, for I knew not then, as I did afterwards, that my grandfather, Thomas the Little of Utrecht in Holland, had been born a Jew. In this autobiography, Shakespeare describes himself as a small, dark man. He speaks of his younger years when he was called a Jew boy, and reflects upon this filling him with rage, because he didn't know he was actually of Jewish descent, his grandfather being a Sephardic Jew from Holland, what we call today the Netherlands. We have covered in previous videos that Jews in Europe were mostly from Spain and Portugal, and were described being very dark of complexion. This time I will provide another piece of literature pointing to this fact. From the Detroit Jewish News, Friday, December 5th, 1969. Quote, fascinating. Mulatto Jew's story in Marcus' new work. In 1668, Boston reported the arrival and arrest of a Jew named Solomon. He was caught in the town of Wenham, Mass, on his way to New Hampshire and Maine. His crime? He had profaned the Lord's Day by traveling on a Sunday. Who was Solomon? All we know is that he was described as a mulatto Jew. But was he actually a mulatto? The Englishmen of that day thought of the Jews as a dark-skinned people. In 1665, 3 years before Solomon was hauled before the magistrates in Wenham, a respectable Portuguese Jew on Jamaica, a landowner, was referred to as a black Jew. Tawny people were dark-skinned. Benjamin Franklin believed that most of the world was tawny, and he included in the category not only Africans, Asians, and American Indians, but also Italians, French, Russians, Swedes, and all the Germans except the Saxons. The Saxons and the English, he wrote in 1751, are the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. End quote. This newspaper makes us question our previous understanding of the word swarthy, as it says tawny people were dark-skinned. We believed, based on this definition on this etymological dictionary published in the early 1700s, that swarthy was a word used to describe a range of melanated skin tones, tawny and dusky meaning light brown and brown, while black or dark meaning a dark brown complexion. However, these words don't seem to be representing a spectrum. They are, in fact, synonymous. They mean the same thing, meaning a swarthy person is simply someone with a dark complexion. The amount of European monarchs and nobles described as swarthy is astonishing. We intend to make videos about all of them, so stay tuned for those. Anyway, back to Shakespeare. Shakespeare's grandfather, being a Jew from Holland, presents us with the perfect opportunity to continue the story of the Iberian black Jews after the exile. From The Jews and Moors in Spain, page 218, quote, many of the Portuguese Jews settled, became prosperous in the Indies, in southern France, and in Hamburg. Others settled in the Netherlands, and became especially prosperous in Holland. From Holland, large numbers of the descendants of the Portuguese and Spanish exiles entered England through the intercession of Manasseh ben Israel with Oliver Cromwell. We just read how William Shakespeare's grandfather, Thomas of Utrecht, was a Jew from Holland. That's why I assumed he was a Sephardi Jew, which gives more context to William Shakespeare describing himself as dark. But it still doesn't explain why he used to get angry when he was nicknamed Jew Boy. The reason being a dark-complexioned Englishman would find it very offensive if he was called a Jew simply due to complexion, because it also implied they were not Christian. The comparison doesn't make it justice because it lacks the religious component, but in our times it would be like calling a Japanese person Chinese boy, simply because they have similar phenotypes. Like and share for more lost history. And that's why we say.
Here you go. Get your facts correct. Get your facts correct. See how they whitewash everything? It's crazy. Freaking nuts.
History is a lie. From the book, When Scotland Was Jewish. Quote, the Scottish royal Stuarts were equally dark and Semitic in appearance. Of Charles II's dusky appearance, his mother, Queen Henrietta Maria, had been half mortified, writing after her confinement that the child was so dark she was ashamed of him. He was quickly dubbed the Black Boy. Enemies made out that he was a black bastard begotten by a black Scotsman. End quote. This is just another confirmation regarding some Stuart monarchs we covered on this page. King James I was described as ruddy in complexion, a reddish brown, like the biblical King David, another parallel authors of his time noted. while his mother Mary of Scots' complexion was described being of a delicate brunette, a light brown, similar to her cousin Elizabeth I of England. We also covered sources describing his grandson Charles II. Wanted posters after the Battle of Worcester describe him being tall and of a sable hue. This is what the color sable looks like, a dark brown color. We can see why he was nicknamed Black Boy. The Stuarts and their relatives in this time period weren't usually as dark as him, which reminds us of King Solomon, darker than his predecessors. This is how modern Hollywood makes fun of this history, knowing it will go over 99.9% of so-called black people's heads.
Well, Florence, what delicious masterpiece have you prepared for us this time?
Well, for you, my queen, I have garden fresh vegetables, pheasant, and your very favorite imported wine.
Oh, hey, well, all right.
I said for my queen. You got pantyhose on under that rose?
What about my meal?
Oh, yeah. Would you prefer regular oatmeal or instant?
She was only kidding. Wheezy mouthing off is a capital offense, and I demand punishment.
Okay, you get no dinner.
Like and share for more lost history. And that's why we say...
Oh, that show was crazy. I hope that gave you some insight that question everything. Question everything, because everything is not truthful. They lie about everything. The history, the complexions of many is not true. None of it's true. They whitewash, peel off the noses. Sometimes remove the hair, mummified corpse they find, and put some goofy hair on there. But you know what's really strange is that I did a video a while back when they found some Negro people who actually have blonde hair. Remember I told you the root of blonde hair is from Negro people. Of course, albinos have it, of course, and stuff like that trickle down to redheads, redhead Caucasians who are descendants of albinos. But there are colored Negro people with naturally blonde hair. So when they see those mummified individuals with blonde hair, they automatically assume that these individuals are Caucasian or European. Not true. They just dark people with blonde hair. And they would never admit that fact, but the head of excavation and historian and a lot of Egyptology, I had a video of him admitting the real race of these individuals and these mummified individuals that he exhumed and excavated over the years. He said, yes, there are dark colored people. It's a video of him saying that. If you ask him that now, he'll deny it. And I don't know where the hell happened to that video. Just like I don't know what happened to the video that had King Charles and one of his assistants male assistant admitting to having an affair with him. You know, and he mysteriously died or whatever. And a young boy climbing out one of their little palaces butt naked on the side of the building. I had a clip like that. I don't know what happened to that clip. I had it in my patron. Someone literally became a patroner and had it removed. So yes, the blacklisting and stopping me goes way back. Whatever. Anyway, moving right along here. The next story here we're going to talk about are the portals. And then I'm going to let you go. And again, this is my last video I'm doing. I'm sick of doing these videos and my views are not looking right. I feel like a fool. And I know I've said this before. I've been doing it lately out of pure boredom because I've been having a lot of time on my hands, you know, in terms of work. So I haven't been able to work as much as I want to. Yeah, they blacklisted me everywhere, all around. So I've been using it as a time pass. But it's no point of continually hitting my head against the wall. So I am out after this. I'm done making videos. Okay, so the history of portals. As you heard me talk about the portals in my last live show, well, it seems that it goes deeper. There seems to be some unknown history when it comes to these portals. As I said several times. Now, the main attraction of portals are in Detroit, Michigan. which I was doing a show about that, I think a couple of days ago. Forgot that it was in Michigan because personally I wasn't paying attention. But yes, it's in Detroit, Michigan, but they have somewhat kind of portals pretty much everywhere around the United States. Now, no one has went through this portal at night. You know, this is the first time it's been lit that I've seen the video. I'm sure it's not the first time it's been lit, but that I've seen the video that it's been lit. But I have not seen anyone walk through it while it was lit like this. Okay? Don't worry, we're going to get real deep with these portals. And I believe I predicted this too, that we will start seeing a lot of this revolutionary stuff. Now, you got to remember, thousands of years ago, you call them ancient aliens, you can call them extraterrestrials, the Anunnaki, whatever. They were cohabitating and walking on Earth among the living, which is why you see them carved on walls. You see them carved here. Da, da, da. It was like a cohesive kind of environment, and it was the norm, you know. I don't know what happened after the flood, but the flood and that war with the giants and stuff, which I have a whole script about that I've been meaning to do a voiceover, but I don't have the patience to do that, and I'm not going to do all that work, and no one's going to see it. At least I'm not going to see that someone sees it. I don't know who's taking my money. But anyway, but the point of it was a war between the giants, and it was this head queen. She's supposed to be the head queen. She's the most powerful queen, the most powerful entity who had the power to turn into stone. And her and her female army, these are female armies, not male armies, female armies. And I read this someplace that there were female armies that had powerful capabilities to turn stone, to turn into snakes, to turn into pillar of salt. They changed the gender of those, but these were females. The most feared entities were females. And they turned that entity that supposed was a Zeus. They turned him into stone, into a stone and mountain. He was a hoe. He pretty much did it with a lot of people. He stuck his thing in various people. He was able to conform in different sizes, heights, whatever. He had the capability of doing. They call it reptilian now, but he was able to do that. So he had an affair with plenty of people, and what he wanted after all his affairs and babies and things of that nature, no one knows where his descendants at, but I'm assuming they're dead. But he had an affair with his last person whom he was so in love with. He was like, I'd rather die with this person. If you're going to kill me, queen, whatever, make sure you kill me with this person. She was like, I'm going to turn you into stone. She turned him into stone and into a mountain. And apparently he remained that way. And there's been different faces of him, some rock formation of them stuck together. It's been witnesses of that everywhere, primarily here in America. Because remember, this is the original Egypt. This is where the original biblical things have happened. Anyway, so that's what they did. Turned them into stone. The flood pretty much drowned all of it. But lately, a lot of stuff from the ground is starting to resurface. So we're going to start seeing more of these portals. We're going to start seeing more pyramids coming out of the oceans and seas. We're going to start probably seeing more extraterrestrials flying over the sky and things. It's going to be so uncontrollable. Even the government's not going to be able to do anything about it. We're going to start seeing more things coming down from the sky because we are entering an age of Aquarius where the truth will be revealed. You probably see, I predict that we're going to start seeing a huge scandal of the Romans or the Catholic Church, of all the crap that they hid all over the decades and stuff. We're going to start seeing a huge revelation, a huge expose, and a huge scandal of everything. It's going to be so freaking scandalous, they're not going to be able to lie their way out of it. It's going to destroy them. Because the time has come. Now, again, this particular portal here is showing at night. As you can see, the streams of light here. This is as far as it pretty much goes. They don't even go that far up to. I'm yet to see someone go through this thing at night. You just see a bunch of videos and stuff, but take a look at this.
Check this thing out at night. Notice how the lights on the lens of the camera, look what they're doing. Obviously, you did not see that with the naked eye, but it's interesting on the camera, huh?
You see that? Streams of light. All horizontal. Parallel. And as far as she goes, she don't even go no further than that. She don't go. I would have went through it or something. I know me. But as far as she goes. Now, this person, during the day, they go through it during the day. Starting to annoy me with these things. Like, don't bring me no more videos until I see someone brave enough. Make sure you have your affairs in order to take your butts through this thing at night. Don't give me no more daylight stuff. But anyway, with it lit like that. This person goes through, but I already seen someone go through it already, but here it is.
That's this old hotel. And up on a hill. This is just like the Christmas tree. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Because I already have like strong energy within me. Stuff falls around me all the time. Everything else.
Girl, just go through the damn thing. It's not even lit.
Oh my god, so they have this sign.
The portal. It's called the portal. They don't even lie about it. They literally just said it's the portal. That's crazy. Now, this is in Detroit, Michigan. If you stay near Detroit, Michigan, I recommend you going up there and going at night. But be careful. Here's another story. Here, this is more of a historian's. Just pay attention.
Missing YouTuber and his viral video. It's all part of a mystery centered around Sedona, Arizona. Go ahead and play that. So, here 528 tone. I also have another tone generator set to 525, and I'm about to show you what will happen with that. There we go. 528. And already you can see a much more stable fracture.
That's crazy. I'm actually try that and see if that works.
Check out what they got in New York, y'all. They are always sending us a message, and for some reason, they're always putting in New York. Check this out. So they got this big asteroid, right? And this is like the sun. This is like the sun, right? And it's a clock. There's a clock right there. A climate clock. And it says 5 years from now, all right? 5 years, there's something that's going to happen. So this is what I did. So 5 years from now is 2029. And the first thing that pops up is 2029 asteroid.
That's crazy.
So I click it, and this is what I get. Apophis, right? It says asteroid 99942 Apophis, right? As it zooms safely past Earth on April 13, 2029. Earth's gravity will slightly change. Now, just look at the number. 999 is actually 666. Then you have 42, which 4 plus 2 is another 6. Now, here's what I found interesting. It says April 13th. Now, 13 is a very sacred number. They don't even tell us about the number 13. They can't even tell us if a tornado is going to come the next day, but y'all know the real date that this asteroid is supposedly going to pass by Earth. Now, another thing, wasn't Terrence Howard talking about altering the gravity of Earth? Now, I just found this interesting because it has this, going through the sun. And
Earth
we
does
all
not
know
have
the sun
gravity.
is a portal because they're literally telling us in plain sight right here. There's a hole through the sun. Y'all know how I do with gematria, y'all. We are literally in a matrix, and the matrix is encoded, and you can use gematria to decode what they're telling you. So Apophis gives you 33, the same age that Jesus supposedly died, which is the age of enlightenment. You have 3 plus 3 gives you 6, and then 6 is 9, because as above, so below. And then you mean to tell me you have all these 6s or all these 9s over here, and what else gives you 33? The red kachina. Red kachina also gives you 33. Could this be another key word for the red kachina? Because as we've known, the blue sun has been here. Remember, Andre 3000 made an album saying New Blue Sun, letting us know that it is here. So could this be the transition of the red kachina coming through? And if you look at the layout, it's all red.
Huh? Look at that. Now, you always want to pay attention to numbers because numbers is how we operate. We live in a mathematic universe. If anything, God is math. Now, at the end of this number, it says 42. Have you guys seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yes, but you're not going to like it. Doesn't matter, we must know it. All right. The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42.
Look at their shirts, telling you to think deep.
So 6?
Yes.
They're literally telling you to think deep. And now, if you look at the environment, it's all red. Just like this over here, it's all red. And they told you the answer is 42. Now remember, as above, so below, we are in the year 24, which is 42 backwards. Now, have you guys seen the movie Don't Look Up? Because whenever we do look up, we see some strange anomalies, particularly having to do with the sun. Check this out from Don't Look Up. So at the end of the movie, there's an asteroid coming.
No, I know what it means. It's like a childhood memory thing.
Now, in all these movies, like when it has to do with the end of the world, they show people and animals going through like a transition. But y'all see that? The Hopi prophecy, right? Talks about the red and blue Kachina. Look at that. That's a Hopi right there. Look at this. They always tell us you just have to learn how to decipher things. And look at that table with the red cloth. Red is the theme, isn't it?
Serious, every time you have coffee, you have to grind your knees.
So again, this is the movie Don't Look Up. So Google say this asteroid is supposed to pass by in April 13, 2029, all right? So what's interesting, when you add, 9 plus 2 plus 2, you get 13. So another 13, and then when you flip the word April around, because this is what we're supposed to do, we're in a video game. You're supposed to flip words and all this type of thing. You're supposed to learn how to decode things. You have the real 13. You see that? The real, because a D and a B and a P is the same thing. So it's the real 13. Y'all see that? So could this be what they're really telling us? That, this asteroid is coming to alter the gravity of Earth, and what happens and Don't Look Up is what's happening here? Now I can take this deeper and connect more dots, but I'm gonna stop it right here, y'all. I'm gonna leave this for a live that I'm gonna go on later. But what do you guys think, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Nothing is far-fetched anymore, and I'll be connecting a lot of dots for you guys. Maybe that's why they never told us about the number 13, because that is the real April 13th. What's really gonna happen? And then remember, in the month of April, they call us fools, right? So let me know what you guys think about this video. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting time. If you like this video, please give your boy a follow. I'm trying to get up to 10K, and share this video, y'all, please. And also, please follow me on the Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you for tuning to my frequency.
All right. He's correct about the integral numerical physics and cosmetology and astrology and numerology and things of that nature of the numbers, except for him thinking it's for some kind of gravity, I don't know, alteration. That's not what it's for. A lot of those dates are, I just pretty much said, a lot of those are dates. There are dates, there are numerical codes, there are computer codes and things of that nature. It's not what he's thinking it is, and I can understand him having that thought, but that's not what it is. We need to get out of the mind of the whole space thing. If we can get out of that mind, this is why a lot of astrologers and things of that nature are coming up short, because they're still on space. They're still on the space. Space this, space that, space this, space that. Everything is space. Everything is this and this. If they can get that out of their mind, it'll start making sense. Start thinking that the space... How you doing, Corey and Damon? Start thinking the space is what it is, which is pretty much a firmament. It's a firmament. So when these entities, they either coming from through the firmament, which I'm sure there's openings, or they coming from another area on Earth. Earth is not the continents or countries that we see. There are more. There are more behind the ice wall. There was an old map that came out some years ago, okay? And it showed that there was more land beyond the ice wall. Okay, so there's literally more land behind the ice wall. Some of these entities be flying through that particular area, or flying from that area, I should have said. Or for that matter, they jumping through portals to get to another area faster, which is why they sometimes appear out of nowhere. See how things starting to make sense? There's portals. It's not a freaking coincidence that they put a portal or two portals. There's going to be more portals coming up, I'm telling you. In freaking Detroit, which so happened to be the stomping ground of Moors, and a lot of historical Egyptian stuff used to be over in Detroit. Believe it or not. Michigan. Remember? Michigan. Which is surrounded by the Great Lakes, which used to be Egypt, you know, stomping ground as well. Okay. You guys have to think bigger. Remember, the map's supposed to be upside down. You got to think bigger. There was a great war after the giants. Things were different. And once we get into that mentality, things will start making sense. So keep that in mind. Crying out loud. They always want to see my face. Get a life. Anyway, so keep that in mind when I tell you that these portals, the revelation of that, he is getting very close. He's a very intelligent man, but he has to get space out of his mind. There would not be an asteroid. That was not an asteroid. That is a rock. That is a four-main rock that's going to get either discovered or is going to come up from somewhere. And it's going to have some writing on there that historians or archaeologists or whoever read that freaking language. I'm still learning how to read the hieroglyphics. I know how to read some of it, believe it or not, but I'm not an expert at it. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. But whatever those carvings is, whether it's from a time period we don't know, dead language, whatever, that is a rock. And that rock is going to reveal secrets. That is not an asteroid. That is a rock. That's what it is. That's going to be discovered. That's going to come up. Lake Lanier is no longer going to be. It's going to be some astronomical, I don't know, some crazy, I don't know, some earthquake or hurricane or something like that. Some crap is going to go on. And Lake Lanier is going to be flooded. And the truth about that is it's going to be blatant. It's going to be so out there, it's going to scare the hell out of everybody. The past and what they're trying to hide is coming to the surface. This is the age of the truth. And it's just not empires and celebrities and their lies. That's easy. No, this is historical lies. It has to come true. This is the time. Because we only got one more time period coming. And this is the time. Okay? 1333, 66, 666 is basically DNA that makes up colored people with melanin. It's the DNA of melanin. So anyone who's marked with the melanin DNA code, and these can be people who are Caucasian that have descendants of Negroes. So not just us, but Hispanics too. They have the 666. They're supposed to be the chosen ones, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, I have more videos for you here. I believe I do. Okay, now we're going to go deeper into this whole story here. Yeah, I heard that too before, McCoy. We're going to go deeper. There was a firefighter. We're going to go deep into the portals here because I'm very intrigued about the portals. Remember I told you I was very intrigued by these portals, and I'm going to try to open up a portal in my room just to see how deep I go. I mean, just turn the frequency up. I need that thing, though. I have to get that thing. I'm going to try to find some way to get it. I wonder if I can make my own. No, I better get one. Anyway, I may have one already. Anyway, but yes, this was a story about a firefighter who so happened to brush upon this portal and ended up, we'll just take a listen to this.
Man with no ID and no transportation get from upstate New York to Northern California. It's more than 4,500 kilometers as the crow flies, but that is the mystery officials are trying to solve after a missing Toronto firefighter turned up in Sacramento 6 days after disappearing while skiing near Lake Placid.
That's the strange case of Danny Philippitis, the firefighter who was skiing in upstate New York, goes missing, and then 6 days later is found in Sacramento, California, still wearing his snow gear. I'll get more into his story towards the end of the video, but first to break down how this could happen, similar stories, and tying it together with missing people in national parks, and the theory that it's linked to portals. Now, whether these portals are created in the supernatural realm or in the scientific realm, that's what we'll look at first. First, in the supernatural realm, I want to bring up 2 Bible passages, and these talk about somebody being taken from the earth, and as well as an opening to a realm that we currently don't see. So in 2 Corinthians 12:2, Paul says, I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the 3rd heaven. Whether it was in the body or out of the body, I don't know, but God knows. And in Revelation chapter 9, we have the angel in the last days comes from heaven with the key to the bottomless pit, opens this pit, and then great smoke comes out of it, as well as entities that were trapped inside of it. So there are 2 supernatural cases. I'll get into a few more at the end, but there's actually plenty of testimonies of people encountering these strange things in the woods, really, in the middle of nowhere. These phenomenons where they come across a blob or they see this like clear type of figure or something coming in.
Yeah, it gets deep. Listen to her.
Have y'all seen this yet? There was something falling out of the sky in Indonesia, y'all. They said this is Indonesia, but we can't tell what this is. What is that, y'all? It is so hard to decipher what this is. Bro. What? Okay, y'all, I zoomed in, but it's still hard to decipher what this is. That looks like a giant 6, though. It looks like a giant 6, but what? It looks like an eye in the sky. Bro, what is that? What is going on? And you see all those people there. Wow. They did say in the end days that things will start falling out of the sky, y'all, right? The stars in the firmament.
There will be no stars coming out.
I'm just curious
the firmament,
what that
maybe.
Is, it looks crazy. Look, what's this
coming
string
out
over
the
here? So yeah, y'all, I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of anomalies coming out of the sky right now, y'all. So much is going on in the
Oh yeah, definitely.
and people are just not ready. But
Screenshot that. Go ahead and follow the young man. He's very intelligent. But he's going back and forth between. Sorry about that. He's going back and forth between the firmament and space. You gotta stay in the lane. But he's very intelligent. Now here is, this guy here. He still believes in space. His calculations are wrong, but most of it's accurate, except for the space stuff.
Now NASA recently discovered something called X points around Earth and also around the sun. These are naturally occurring portals that open and close every single day all around the outside of our planet. The Themis satellite system discovered these portals a few years back, and they've been analyzing and watching them. Some of them create direct pathways to the sun and even to other planets in our solar system. So these are called X points. They exist all around the outside of our planet. They're where magnetic diffusion points hit and cross, like our magnetic fields hit and cross. In some way, combining that crossing with electromagnetic fields with charged particles from the sun opens up a portal.
Yeah, that confirms the whole portal stuff.
Now,
Islamic religion is a very interesting combination of moon worship and Saturn worship and Venus worship. Venus is very big in the Islamic religion. If you look up the word sin or Allah, it will tell you that Allah in Islam is actually the moon god Sin, S-I-N. And you'll see moon god virtually everywhere in the Middle East. And then we get to this article points out that the original Yahweh was only another form of this primitive lunar deity of Arabia. So Yahweh of the Hebrew religion was actually Sin, Ai. And this is why, even in Israel today, they do not spell synagogue S-Y-N. In Israel, they spell it S-I-N. Because synagogue was the house of worship of the god Sin. Synagogue.
There you go. So yes, as I stated, be expecting more portals. Be expecting more of these. Oh, forget it. Says jerks. Oh gosh. I just found out that they shut down my Truth Show Live Instagram page. Talking about they need a video of me proving who I am. I've had the strangest things happen to me. It's crazy. I'm like, I am not in the vanity mood right now to be doing. I'm sitting here trying to do the video. They keep, go somewhere. Stop. Leave me alone. I've had someone actually call me and wanted me to draw blood. Saying it was for a job or something. I was in the process of working, or I forgot what I was doing at the time. I don't know if I was working or looking for a job. I don't remember, honestly, what my working status was, because I'm always working somewhere. Anyway, but anyway, they called, it was like, we need to draw some blood. You know, this is for the department of blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, why? And they sent me a website. I went to the website. I was like, okay. And I was so blown away. I was like, okay. I also told my husband, I said, the website looked legit. They need to come to my house. You know, and draw blood. He said, for what? I said, I don't know. I said, I applied for several jobs. I mean, this is a couple years ago. Yeah, a couple years ago. When I was on high alert trying to find another job after the boss situation. And anyway, actually that was a few years ago. That was back in 2019. That was before COVID. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to realize some stuff. Gosh, it's amazing how the years go by. Yeah, that was around the time that hacking, my numbers started sending, and I stayed in the same numeral, sorry about that, same time, or not time, but same view account. First it was 1,000, then they just froze it at the hundreds, even though that's not real, and they kept deleting my subscribers. They delete a little bit. I get like 1,000. 2 days, 1,000 is gone and stuff like that. And it was just going up and down, up and down. It was just crazy. That was back in 2019. Yeah, 2019. And I thought it was for a job, but it wasn't really for a job. Now that I realized that, I didn't know that then. I thought it was, you know, like this is the department because I was looking for a government job. It's for the department, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. I said, I'm gonna make sure my husband was there. I said, I need you to be there because I don't know these people. Some guy, he didn't really have on a uniform. He just had on regular clothes. He had a badge and he had his face mask on, and he came in a regular car, and he had like those little cases where you have the blood vials and the scale, and he drew my blood. He weighed me. He told me to stand up to the door so he can get my height. All of it. He did all of that in my house. My husband was like, this is a strange. I never heard of this before. I said, I'm assuming it's for a job. I don't know. But I remember a couple days before that, I was watching something. I think I had like a little cuddle time with my husband. He don't really drink. He don't drink because he takes a lot of prescription medicines, so he don't drink at all. I mean, at all. Anyway, and I had me a martini because I was stressed. You know, I wasn't stressed to the point where I needed whiskey. When I need whiskey, I'm really stressed. I had a martini, so I was feeling a little frisky. So I had me a martini. So I made me a couple martini. I even taught my daughter how to make me a Cosmo. I had me a couple martinis. So I had some liquor in my system, you know. And I remember getting the test results back. The lady seemed disappointed. I don't know what the fuck she thought she was going to find. I don't know if she thought she was going to find some kind of drugs in my system. I told her, I told her on the phone, and I told the guy that was here, who looked very familiar, like I saw him before. And I told him, I said, well, just to let you know, I had, you know, something to drink, you know, last couple of days or whatever, so that may be in my system or something. He was like, that's okay, that's okay. I was like, oh, okay. So And I got my test results back. Everything is fine. My health is fine. Cholesterol is fine. I'm anemic, so my blood pressure was very low, which I told him and her. I was like, my blood pressure is low. I've been anemic forever. You know, my daughter is anemic as well. So my blood pressure is always low. That's why I'm always craving chips and salt. And now that I have these tumors, my blood pressure is ridiculously low. But anyway, and I got the results back. Only thing that was in my system was alcohol. And she seemed upset by that. She was like, well, we didn't find anything in your system. You know, we didn't find anything in your system, you know. I don't know what else they found or what else they did with my blood. I have no idea. They can tell me who the hell my father is. That'd be a great freaking discovery. But that's all I had in there was just blood pressure was high and, you know, not blood pressure was high, but blood pressure was low. Alcohol level, whatever they had in there, whatever the medical term was, it don't give me the line. That I had found alcohol in my system and that's all they found. And I just thought about this and it was like a little wheel, you know, and then they had section where drugs, like, you know, illegal drugs. I'm like, okay, why was they testing that? Was this some high power person to confirm some stupid rumor that was going around that I snort cocaine or whatever the fuck they? I remember someone accused me of that some years back on some social media. Called me a crackhead. I'm like, who in the fuck are you? I never did any drugs in my life except for marijuana. And that was years ago. I haven't smoked a joint in years. Seriously. So, what the hell? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is that... And then I thought about that just now and sometime before then. I was like, oh my gosh, these people probably hired some, I don't know, some random nut and some random bitch to come to my fucking house to do a blood test on me to confirm some bullshit ass rumor about me doing drugs or whatever the fuck they were trying to do. Got completely fooled because only thing they found in my system was alcohol. Then I'm freaking anemic. That's it. That's fucking it. And I remember when a dude told me to hold my hand up above the door. He was checking me out seriously, like my butt and every freaking thing. I had on big clothes. I'm always wearing big clothes around the house, but I was like, what the hell? My husband was there looking at him, you know, like, okay, dude, back the hell up. What the hell you doing? It was the most craziest freaking thing. I'm not lying to you. On my mother's grave, my grandmother's grave, my husband was here. He had validated himself for real. It was crazy. And I just thought about that just now. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And then be going out and stuff and people acting like they know me. What the fuck is going on? Ugh, gosh. Sometimes I wonder if I have dementia. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, it's just, I'm telling you guys, this thing's been going on since 2019. This is 2024. I mean, what, 6 years now? So crazy. And I don't even know who's doing it. We was close to thinking it was a celebrity. For a moment, I thought it was Sean Combs, but that's not true. Then I thought it was the Carters. That's still up in the air. Now it's cornering to other areas of the world that I didn't even think they were a part of. But now that I'm starting to realize they may be. And then it was, someone told me it could be the FBI. Because I linked my information to the FBI for a case. It could be them, you know, following me around and stalking me or whatever the hell they're doing. I'm like, okay, why would they blacklist me from getting a job though? That's stupid. No, this person want me gone. Then I started thinking about the threats that were in my comment section in some of my videos. The policy videos, not the historical videos. I don't get too many threats in those, but anytime I do any videos about the Trump or whatever, and when I used to do videos about the Royals, not too much, but politics, especially Trump, I used to get major threats. They be threatening my life, not just on YouTube, but on Facebook too. Threatening my life, saying I should get beaten up inside my head. I should get hung up by a tree. I'm going to make sure you stay destroyed. I'm going to make sure you never achieve anything. I'm going to make sure this and this and this and this. I should have screenshotted it. And it turned out they were correct. They were correct. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Hello?